Hey, Scandal Squad, welcome back to the channel. Looks like I'm having some technical difficulties here. Can you hear me? Let me see. Can you hear me? I don't know why it's not. Let's see what's going on. Oh, okay. My bad. Hey, Scandal Squad, welcome back to the channel, Celebrity Scandalous. Please hit that like button, and I'm going to wait until a couple more people come in. So for those of you, there's been so much going on in this JayZ case, JayZ, Diddy, Jaguar, right? It's been so much. But before I play this video, which is right above me, I don't know if y'all can see it, if I'm pointing in the right way. Today, there was a statement from Tony Busby saying that he has no affiliation with Jaguar, right? Y'all saw the video where Jaguar came out and was like, oh, where she called she claims that the agency or the law firm called her, and she was online and talking about all of the stuff that people have been doing against her, and, talking about JayZ and Beyonce. And she was kind of making the claims like she was going to be working with them to bring the Carters down. But Buzzbee has come out. Let me actually, and I know I'm doing the different screen, but okay, here we can look at it too. Okay, so let me know if you guys could see this. Tony Busby, I'm not working with Jaguar, right, in the JayZ lawsuit. So he goes on, and it just says he denies working with her in any part of the lawsuit against JayZ. So this is the video that Jaguar, right, let us play. Like, she recorded it and she was playing it for us, or people online, social media. So check this out, you guys.
I know that the attorneys were wanting to speak to you, but I don't think that they knew how to get in touch with you exactly, or they tried to. And I was just telling your producer, we received an email that everything was encrypted. They didn't say who they were, but they left this phone number.
Oh.
And it was pretty informative and a little different than normal, and so I thought I would call, and I'm glad I did. So, would it be okay if one of our attorneys called you?
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea, because the truth is, everything that's happening to your firm has been happening to my life for the past 15 years because of the Carters.
15? Girl.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We are somewhat familiar with everything that you've said. I know you've been online a long time.
Yes.
Talking about all of this.
Yes, so, trying to gain awareness.
Go ahead, ma'am.
No, I said just trying to gain, give the public some awareness.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, so would it be okay if an attorney reached out? And
absolutely. We can talk on Monday. And you can just, it was lovely speaking with you.
It's lovely speaking with you.
It's very nice speaking to you, too.
Okay.
Okay, so Monday, you want us to call?
Yeah, it was a call back Monday.
That was the Tony Busby law firm. You're being charged with doing stuff with minors. Your alleged son, who you've been avoiding doing DNA tests for over a decade. His mother was a minor. People are coming forward from Foxy Brown's high school talking about how you regularly picked her up after school, and it was kind of a known fact that that was your chick. Wanna know what's funny? 2010, she finally admitted it. Y'all thought I was messing with AZ, and then you thought I was messing, and you thought I had Rick Ross' baby, and you thought it was Nas, and the real nigga was JayZ.
So that was Jaguar, right? Letting us know that she was in touch with the Buzzbee firm, right? Kind of trying to make people think that they were going to be working together. Well, Buzzbee has come out and said, nah, no ma'am, no go. We ain't working with her. So, yeah, that was the report that came out today. Let's see. But there's been some other things. So it was Jaguar Wright with Buzzbee coming forward saying, oh, no, I'm not working with her. And then there was the latest thing is that JayZ's attorney, let's see. JayZ's attorney has come out and he's talking about the case. So let's take a look at that. Now, why isn't this one showing? I'm still trying to figure out some of this stuff because I don't do it enough. But once I get used to doing it, I'll be good. I'll be good. It's not letting me share the screen. Okay, here we go. So here's Alex Spiro, and apparently he was supposed to have a press conference, and I thought it was going to be televised. On some channels, we were all gearing up to show it to you in real time. However, it didn't. And so we were all waiting. So apparently he did the press conference at Rock Nation, and now he did the video. So here we go. Let me make sure you can see it.
System like this. He's upset that this distracts, and
How's Mr. Cobb feeling?
he's upset. He's upset that somebody would be allowed to do this. They would make a mockery of the system like this. He's upset that this distracts and dissuades real victims from coming forward. He's upset that his kids and his family have to deal with this. He's upset. And he should be upset.
Right. Will Mr. Carter say anything more specifically about Mr. Combs? He didn't really address him in his statement, but anything since outlets and internet speculation have tried to affiliate the two of them, and he didn't really, in his statement, specifically say anything about any of the allegations.
I mean, Mr. Carter has nothing to do with Mr. Combs' case or Mr. Combs. They knew each other professionally for a number of years, just like in all professions. People know each other. At the music awards, they support each other. You go to the NBA All-Star game, they support each other. That's just how professions work. There is no closer association between any of them. That's also a matter of fiction. That's all that there is. He doesn't know anything about the charges or allegations against him. He has nothing to do with that case. And there's nothing more to say.
Wow. So he basically has come forward and said that JayZ has nothing to do with the Diddy case, which is crazy. I mean, I get that he's supposed to say that, but I thought since they were both named in that lawsuit, I just assumed that if JayZ's attorney was coming forward saying, no, JayZ wasn't there, he has nothing to do with it, that it would be a win for Diddy as well. But it looks like he is also he's saying, they're separating themselves. They were business partners or, business acquaintances, but there wasn't a friendship there. And that's really interesting because a couple of days ago, I did a video where I talked about Stephen Smith came forward and was defending JayZ. And because he said he knew JayZ, he's known JayZ for like 25 years. And I was saying, well, that's crazy that Diddy and JayZ have been associated and affiliated for over 20 years as well. And that JayZ never came out to defend Diddy. So that says a lot right there, you know, because they've had so many. I don't care what you say. I don't care what this attorney says. We have known Diddy and JayZ to be pretty tough, like thick as thieves online in social media. And if people see you with somebody enough, they assume that you have a relationship, whether it's work and a friendship. So anyway, that was crazy. I see some new people have come in, so I'm going to play it one more time, and then I'm going to go ahead and read the. I'll go ahead and read the article. So let me see. Let me go back here. These things are crazy. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so
How's Mr. Carter feeling?
He's upset. He's upset that somebody would be allowed to do this. It would make a mockery of the system like this. He's upset that this distracts and dissuades real victims from coming forward. He's upset that his kids and his family have to deal with this. He's upset. They should be upset.
Right. Will Mr. Carter say anything more specifically about Mr. Combs? He didn't really address him in his statement, but anything since outlets and internet speculation have tried to affiliate the two of them, he didn't really, in his statement, specifically say anything about any of the allegations.
I mean, Mr. Carter has nothing to do with Mr. Combs' case or Mr. Combs. They knew each other professionally for a number of years, just like in all professions. People know each other. At the music awards, they support each other. If you go to the NBA All-Star game, they support each other. That's just how professions work. There is no closer association between any of them. That's also a matter of fiction. That's all that there is. He doesn't know anything about the charges or allegations against him. He has nothing to do with that case. And there's nothing more to say.
In the beginning, there was blood. And a code I learned from my father. The code is to make sure you
y'all, I'm up here talking and didn't realize my mic was muted. But anyway, basically he is just saying that JayZ don't have shit to do with Diddy, and that's crazy. He's saying that, but a lot of the other businesses that are affiliated with JayZ and Beyonce are coming forward and starting to say that they no longer want to have a relationship with them. There are some liquor companies that are coming forward saying that they are probably going to have to sever ties. So far, JayZ, the NFL is still supporting JayZ. Oh, I don't like this thing on the screen. Let me get this off. That looks like a unalive person. I don't like that. The NFL is saying that they're standing by JayZ, but they're also talking about Beyonce's tour may be in jeopardy because of the different sponsorships. It's just a bad look. You know, Tiffany and Company, I don't know if you guys have seen, they do that branding for Tiffany and Company. They're having an issue with them right now. Just a lot of people are starting to come forward and say, even though there have not, because of his association with Diddy, because even though these allegations against JayZ, he's vehemently fighting them. It's just a bad look for companies. They just don't want to be attached because they don't know how it's going to pan out. And so they don't want to be on the wrong side of the law, right? And they don't want to look like they aren't supporting victims. So they're just jumping ship, you know? So let's get into this article. So that was Alex Spiro, which is JayZ's attorney. Let me see. I'm trying to make this. Let's see. Can you see that? I know it's really small, but I'm going to read it anyway. It says JayZ's lawyer eviscerates assault accusations, pokes holes in alleged victims' timeline. Obviously, he did not a child. Excuse me. So what he's referring to is, of course, they have been in denial. JayZ vehemently, as soon as this came out, well, not as soon as it came out to the public, because when he first filed suit against Busby, he did it as a John Doe. So, but from the beginning, I'm assuming whenever he got the suit, from the Busby office, he said no go, and he has come forward and said, you shouldn't be suing me for monetary gain. You should be trying to press charges against me. So, Busby's client, the Jane Doe, there was a John Doe that came on last week as well, and I think that was a different attorney, but the Jane Doe came on this weekend, and I mean, there were so many holes in her story. She didn't seem credible. Her dad didn't remember, he was one of the people that she said picked her up from the incident. He didn't remember it happening. Some of the people that she allegedly talked to during the time that she was at the after party, the award show, they didn't remember talking to her. It's like she has nobody that corroborate putting her at the scene of the crime. And that's a problem. We can't say that it didn't happen, but she has the burden of proof is on her. And it looks like she's unable to prove it. And there are just inconsistencies in her story. Excuse me. And so some people are saying, well, she says she's autistic. She's had a head injury. And here's the thing. If she's autistic, you still don't get a pass to not have valid information. And she's had a head injury. Some of those things, in my opinion, could actually work against her. And people are saying if you're autistic, you don't necessarily, their memory may be off. There's Steve Jobs. There's Bill Gates. There's so many autistic people that are just phenomenal and, that have done great things that I don't think you could fall back and say, oh, because she's autistic, that she wouldn't necessarily have a great memory, because we know autistic people, depending where they are on the chart, on the spectrum, they're brilliant, and I'm not using that to detract from her, because maybe she's had some other challenges. I'm not saying that, but I don't think you can solely rest your case on the fact that, oh, well, because she's autistic, she might not have a great memory. And the other thing is that if we're going to use the argument that she's autistic, you're going to have like some medical documentation to support that. I mean, there just has to be more than just saying the woman is autistic, so we have to give her a pass. She doesn't remember the years, because as it was being talked about, I almost said litigated, as it was being debated online over the weekend after the video came out, it went from, did this occur in the year 2000 or 2003? And she made a mistake. If we say that this all occurred in 2003, then all of the pieces fit together. That's not how it works. She filed her complaint with the details. And yes, you can be off, but not by that much. And again, the witnesses and anybody who could put her at the scene of the crime is deceased, don't recall, and said it didn't happen. So that's a problem. And, people are coming forward saying that Busby, if he's this pristine lawyer, which, he's gotten, let's see. Hey, Jandrea, Ms. Diddy. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the channel. Thank you. So if Busby is such a pristine attorney, because he's had some pretty big cases against BP Oil, I can't remember everything. I ain't gonna lie. If I have a note in front of me, I can't remember it. But he has had some huge cases. But the problem is that even if he has this case right here, because it's so public and it's so high profile, a lot of attorneys will want this case. I mean, it gets your name out there, and he is saying that after this Jane Doe came forward and people started saying, wait a minute, she's sounding shaky. This case is sounding flimsy. He says that his law office did not vet her. She was vetted by another law office. That's not going to fly, because when you take in the client and you do your intake forms, you're supposed to, dot those I's and cross those T's. You're supposed to do that. And for something like this, because with the salacious headlines, knowing that this is about this, we're talking about sending two men to jail, prison rather, for decades. You're talking about raping a minor, a 9-year-old, not even an adult woman, but a 9-year-old, which you know the difference between a 9-year-old and a 16-year-old. The penalty, a 13-year-old, I'm sorry, a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old, it makes a difference in terms of what the charges would be, the penalties. So when you make those salacious claims like that, you got to make sure you're right. And I think generally the law does want you to, before you make those kind of allegations, because even if it pans out to be wrong or not true, there are going to be people who forever your image and reputation will be tarnished. So you can't just go out making those flagrant remarks like that. You know, you just can't. So there is, and again, the Jane Doe, the burden of proof is on her. So this, back to the article. So this came out today in the New York Post, and it's, I already said JayZ's lawyer eviscerates them. And it says JayZ's attorney ripped allegations that the hip hop mogul raped the 13-year-old girl nearly 25 years ago as not credible, while highlighting the growing number of inconsistencies that have surfaced since the lawsuit was filed. Obviously, JayZ did not hurt that child. Carter's attorney, Alex Spiro, told the reporters at the 99 Problems Rappers Rock Nation headquarters in Midtown Manhattan Monday afternoon. So I was waiting. I was ready because they said it was going to come out. So I was ready for the press conference. I thought we were going to get to see it live, but we didn't. Spiro called the suit nothing more than a shakedown attempt against the rapper whose net worth tops $2.5 billion, according to Forbes. See, I thought he was still just a billionaire, but he got a couple billion, okay? On his way to 3 billion. So this is Spiro. You can see him. He's holding up pictures, and it looks like there's a PowerPoint presentation behind him. Let's see. I can't really read it that well. Like, latest though picked up by 5. Oh, so basically that photo behind him, the photo behind him, he's like given a visual representation of her timeline. So JayZ's attorney, Alex Spiro, made a detailed case to reporters poking holes in the accusations against his client. So I guess he's saying 3 p.m. Let's see. Maybe I can make it a little bit bigger. Let's see. It says 3 p.m. She snuck out of her window. 11 p.m. the VMAs ended. 11:50. I can't make it out. But then there's like a 12:48 a.m. 6:29 a.m. Doe was picked up by her father, which is a huge. I mean, that's a huge piece of evidence, because now she snuck out 3 p.m. the day before. And then the next morning, 6:29 a.m., that's when your parents get you. And from where? That's crazy, though, because I'm not picking you up. Let's think about it like this. Let's see. John Drea says, hello. I think Bub got a trick up his sleeve. Oh, you think Busby got a trick up his sleeve? Maybe. I mean, but a lot of the analysts are coming forward. A lot of the legal analysts and attorneys are coming forward saying, you know, that even if he does, you still need to be a little bit more credible than this. And you can't have any, and if he does, he should not have allowed. Okay, put it like this. If she gets on this dark screen, because we saw a shadow, and she's not even in a deposition, so it's not like under penalty of perjury. She's just telling her story. And she's not really being cross-examined by real defense litigators, right? And if that investigative journalist was able to make her story look, you know, flimsy and find the inconsistencies, you can imagine what they're going to do when she's under testimony, when she's being deposed, when she's got these attorneys and, you know, their legal analysts and paralegals and people that have presented, who have gone through what she said with a fine-tooth comb. She just did. I've been deposed before. And even when you're telling the truth, is difficult. You know, they have so many questions. They can ask you the same. They try to trip you up. and they'll ask you the same thing, just in a slightly different way. And sometimes, I mean, I'm telling you, because you get nervous and like, oh, well, and you're trying to remember details. And based on what we could see, because we couldn't really see her, but based on her demeanor, and if I don't know. I don't know. Jandrea says, yeah, I think the interview, it was a bad look. And that's another thing. Busby should know, like with his level of professionalism, and I'm sure, he's done this. This is what he does. Why would you let this lady get up there and talk? You know what they say, and for those of you who don't know, I used to be a litigation secretary before I transitioned into I'm a cybersecurity professional now. Before they even let her get up there and I don't want to say make a fool of herself, that Lord forgive me, because that's not a nice thing to say, but generally they tell you everything you say can and will be used against you. And if you are not the most articulate person, they tell you to zip it, because they don't want you to say something that you're going to later regret and they have to come back and clean up. Hence something like this. I mean, this in the legal realm, this is almost like a PR nightmare. It literally is. I mean, I've never done criminal law. I've never worked in that capacity. But for big cases at the law firms that I worked, they would tell the clients, hey, if you get any calls or this, first, don't speak if an attorney isn't there. We will vet your questions. And most times, what are you talking for what? We're not trying to litigate this in the court of public opinion. So, no, you don't need to talk, So I just didn't think that was a good look. Jandrea says she made Busby look. Oh, okay. You said she made Busby look like he was on Diddy. That's what people are saying. I don't think that he is. I really just don't think that he is. The thing about it, and I know people make a lot of assertions, online, in the media, and public, but attorneys, the amount of time and what you have to go through to become an attorney, to put your license on the line for something like this, and to be trying to play two sides against the middle, and to be discovered and be disbarred, to not be able to practice law again, it wouldn't be worth it. I mean, if that's the case, then just stay out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because Diddy would have to be paying him. I can't imagine. And Busby is worth some millions himself. So it's not like he's broke. And you have to think about it as well. I don't think, but Busby he works for a law firm. I don't know if it's private practice, if it's his own practice, or if he works with other partners. But often, I don't think that you would put the law firm on the line like that. Usually, if it's a big firm too, there are multiple partners, and before they can even wait, hold on, y'all. I got to cough real quick. Hold on. Before they even can take on high profile cases like this, the firm is advised, like the partners have to agree on it. So I don't think that Busby, if he's with a big law firm, that he would be able to make a decision like that. So to just say, oh, I'm going to take a under the table payout from Diddy to throw the case, that would be crazy. And anyway, because this is civil, these are civil cases, and he took them on contingency, and he took them. I know it was going around rumored that he was taking the cases for free, pro bono. He is not taking them for free. He is taking them under the assumption that he's going to mediate and make some money. That's why he's asking probably for millions of dollars, right? Just like Ariel Mitchell was. They're looking to make a payday. So I don't think so. So Jandrea says, but think about it. She made me believe Diddy was innocent. And I know I know, but that's where sometimes where you find people just trying to get a money grab, and that they have made up in their minds. I don't know. Have you ever heard of those situations where they have the copycat unalivers? Certain words we can't say, right? But some people think, well, hell, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I'm just not that kind of person. I'm not that bold. And I'm just not that damn bold. But I mean, if I thought I could scam something and mean like get a cool $2 million, because they're reading this stuff online. And after Cassie got that 30 million, it's some people out there bump their rocket thinking, I could do that. Let me, and they're looking online. They're piecing together timelines and a story, and they come up with a story. I don't know if you have been on my channel. I did an interview with Malika from Making the Band, and she actually worked with Diddy. And she was on the show Making the Band back in 2002 or 3. And so I know her. And I was saying, have you thought about coming up with a Diddy story? And she was like, yeah. We were laughing. We were kidding. Because I was like saying, girl, hey, can you come up and say? And she said she would never do that because she likes Diddy. She liked working with him, and she said he never did anything to her. But again, just the fact that she had an affiliation with him, it for people who have worked with him, it's easy to say, oh, this happened. Once Cassie got paid, you come up with a story. Now, when you have a person like Busby saying they got thousands of people calling him, why not I come out the woodworks and come up with a story too? And this one, there doesn't seem just to be any credibility. Now, the one girl, I think it's Dave Whitmore, who filed the suit on behalf of the other young lady in the D&G shirt. She had a picture showing that she was with Diddy. So that's one piece of evidence, which is key. She can show that she actually is in a picture with him on his lap. Okay, so that's establishing something. Now, what happened after that? Those are allegations, and they have to be proven. And, it has to go through the process, right? This young lady, the inconsistencies, there's nothing putting her or anybody corroborating her story that she was there. It's just not. And that's problematic. The burden of proof is on her. So, okay, so back to this one. His attorney talks about the fact that JayZ didn't do it. He talks about his net worth, which is huge too. Anytime you have cases like this, definitely you got to think that it could be a money grab. People are totally going to come out and think that, they can get some money from it. Why wouldn't they? I mean, of course they're going to think that that's huge. This case we're talking about millions and millions of dollars. I just saw something, I forget what case it was in. It was another lawsuit, and I think there were allegations of abuse. Oh, Epstein. He paid out, I believe, over $100 million in damages to victims. Okay. So I don't know how many victims it was, and I don't know, what each person got, but he spent over $100 million in payouts. So with a case like this, with JayZ and Diddy being billionaires, well, JayZ, I don't know about Diddy anymore. Yeah, people are going to come forward and try to get some money. As tough as it is, that's a desperate attempt to get some money if you think you can. So it says there isn't a specific number that has been demanded by people like this. They don't send demand letters out to get money. That's all they want. He said, okay, yeah. So he's kind of stating what I say, that people want money. And so Busby initially, when he responded to JayZ, said, oh, we just wanted to have a mediation. We just wanted to litigate and mediate. Well, as I've stated before, what are you meeting to litigate and to discuss and to talk about? Mediation is saying that you want a remedy. You want something, and generally it's financial. If it's a civil case, it's going to probably be monetary. Well, it's going to be monetary unless you have like a construction law, mechanics lien or something, where you're repairing something that you broke, where you have to fix it. But in this instance, it's going to be money. If it's in a criminal charge, it's going to be you behind bars, right? Or you're going to lose a license, something like that. So when Busby kind of came forward and was like, oh, well, we weren't asking for a dollar amount. You knew the dollar amount was going to come at some point. You said, but think about it. She made me believe Diddy was innocent, and I know he's okay, I read that already. And this one says, sad, they thinning the real victims' claims to get. Exactly. Now, that's where a lot of people are mad. And see, we don't want to get on here and victim shame, because if you say, I don't believe it, then it's like, oh, well, you're victim shaming. And it's not like we're victim shaming. It's just like everybody coming forward ain't really a victim. And y'all know this. That's the point. Y'all already know this, right? So let's go on. It goes on to say the request was to sit down and talk about a way to resolve this matter. And we all know what that means. Exactly. Sit down and talk about resolving this matter with you giving her some money so that we don't slander your name and put it out in the media. Yeah, it's financial. And even when Cassie won her suit, my first thing was that why is everybody going for the money instead of going for the charges? Because if this man is raping people and doing all this to minors, you need to be behind bars. Those are my thoughts. So JayZ, whose real name is Sean Carter, has vehemently denied any wrongdoing since the allegation surfaced that he drugged and assaulted the little girl along with the disgraced rapper Sean Diddy Combs in September of 2000, as an unnamed female celebrity watched court documents state. That's another thing. We all want to know who is the female celebrity. Like, did she already settle? Are they not going to name her? I mean, and I also said before a lot of this, before I saw the Jane Doe, I was thinking that if the female celebrity settled, then that would be very bad for Diddy and JayZ, because that would almost be an admission. I mean, even when you settle something, it's not an admission of guilt, but it kind of makes, because it's almost like you're not denying that you were there. You're just like, I just don't want my name in no mess, so I'm going to be done with it, which a lot of people would say, well, if you didn't do it, you would fight it, right? So that's what I wanted to know before this video came out. But now that we see this new Jane Doe, it looks like it's nothing there. Not really. The alleged attack unfolded at a drug-fueled after party following the MTV Music Awards at Radio City Music Hall in New York City that year. Spiro began by playing footage from a recent NBC News report focused on the accusations before systematically picking apart the claims made on TV and the complaint filed in court against the rap icon. So I guess that was this little PowerPoint he was doing there, showing pictures and everything. Now, for those of you who don't know, Tasha K was one of the first bloggers I saw come out and kind of poke holes in it. She kind of poked holes in this maybe last Wednesday. And then Tisa Tales came over the weekend, maybe Friday or Saturday, and was stating that the girl was credible if you change the timeline, the years from 2000 to 2003. So a lot of people were going back and forth saying, that they disagree with Tisa. I disagree with Tisa. Great presentation. She has really good information, but I disagreed with the way that she was trying to, because it's like, if you came up with all of this information online about what could have happened, so could the young lady. So that to me is also a problem. If you're getting all of this information about the house was here, and you found this online and the house was the wrong color because of the light, it was just too many deflections, and you're making the case fit her claim, and it shouldn't be that way. The evidence should stand on its own. If you got to do that much manipulation, there's inconsistencies and there's problems. But I saw from a different angle. I was seeing it like Tisa. It's kind of like Tisa Tales versus Tasha K. To me, it's like both of them are on two separate sides. Tasha K is not a supporter of JayZ, or that's what she said. But Tasha K was like, look, this story is just flimsy and it's not holding up. And so it was kind of funny to me, because I'm like, oh, because Tasha K, they kind of have subliminal things back and forth. I did a video maybe about 8 or 9 months ago where Tasha said one thing, Tisa said something else, because they are two very vocal, big bloggers. And to see them have opposing sides or views about this is interesting. So y'all just take a look, if you can, see what Tisa said and look at what Tasha K said. And I thought that was interesting. So I'm like, oh, it's a behind the scenes battle between the two of them. Who's right, who's wrong. That's just my take on it. But that's neither here nor there. And so it says Spiro began by playing footage from a recent, okay, so I talked about that. He asserted that the location of the alleged rape does not exist. See, key eyewitnesses do not exist. The timeline doesn't work, and the story falls apart with implausible details while slamming the complainant's lawyer, Tony Busby. That's what I'm saying. When Tisa, changes all the year and the reason she said the house was one color because of the lighting, like, you can't do that in a case like that. You take the facts of the case and they're true or false. Now, the years and things like that, okay, there could be some wiggle room, but was this witness present or not? Yes or no? The dad said he didn't recall, and he doesn't recall doing it. That's a whole problem. Key evidence is not there. So you can't change the facts to fit what you want it to be. It just doesn't work that way. The article goes on to say, one second, y'all, let me. The article goes on to say, according to their complaint, after approximately 20 minutes, she arrived at a white house with a U-shaped driveway and a gate. There is no such location in New York, 20 minutes from Radio City. It does not exist. There is no such location. Now, see that part, I mean, what do you mean there ain't no White House? Okay, I'm not even going to debate that, but I mean, there has to be a White House somewhere. But anyway, he's saying there's no such location in New York, 20 minutes from Radio City. It does not exist. There's no such location. We don't know whether they created a location in order to try to get jurisdiction in New York so they could bring this case in New York. Now, that's a good point. Or they just didn't do their homework. Any New Yorker knows there's no such location. I'm not from New York, so I don't know. And that's another thing, because I believe she's in Alabama, so maybe she moved it to New York so that she could, have, because of the statute, which would give her the ability to go back 25 years. I don't know. He pointed out that the suit says the house where the after party took place was owned by Combs, but said in reality, none of the properties in the star's real estate portfolio remotely matched the alleged description. That's another problem. However, I do believe that, they could have had a party at some mansion somewhere, but again, it just looks like, I don't know. She can't prove it, so that's the problem. The location doesn't work because none of this happened, he's saying. Spiro also shot down the notion that a female celebrity would watch such a horrific crime and never breathe a word about it to anyone. I mean, I don't agree with that, because I think that things can happen. There are women, just like with Epstein, that Ghislaine, if I'm saying her name right, there are women who participate and help men, traffic women. So I don't think that one stands, but we still need to know who that female celebrity is, since that's an allegation. In 24 years, not a single witness has ever come forward saying this happened. And that could be true too, though. I mean, things go under the radar for years without somebody saying something. But again, I still think that her story has inconsistencies, but I'm just kind of challenging in my mind, what some of the things that he's saying, that they're not fact-based either. That's a kind of subjective. She said she was at the party alone, a 13-year-old, and she finds herself in the room with three of the most famous people at the party. Just think about how little common sense that makes. Yeah, the narrative just doesn't make sense. It really just doesn't, that you have this 13-year-old from oblivion, just out of nowhere, is at the center, at the helm of this party with all these super famous people. It could happen, but probably, I don't know. And according to her, one of the witnesses is a female celebrity who's just standing there watching the repetitive assault of a child. The celebrity does nothing, says nothing, reports nothing. They won't even identify the celebrity. Interesting about that. So they want to identify the celebrity because she don't exist, or because she paid them off or paid money or settled so that she wouldn't be named. Spiro also pointed to the alleged victim's claim that she spoke to Good Charlotte guitarist and backup singer Benji Madden at the after party, which he said was not possible given the band's touring schedule. Mr. Batten wasn't there. He's already said he wasn't there. His tour schedule said he wasn't there. None of this ever happened. And so based on, some people are saying, well, he was there at a different year. The man said he doesn't talk to her. He don't remember. Again, she has to prove it. People are saying, oh, he's lying. Okay. She will have to have some data or evidence to prove that she's not lying. And it's just not. Carter himself has been vocal in insisting the allegations against him are baseless. This incident didn't happen, and yet he filed it in court, doubled down in the press. JayZ said in a statement slamming the alleged victim and Busby, whom he alleged has filed a false complaint against him. Asked by the Post how Carter is feeling, my bad, y'all, my bad. Asked by the Post how Carter is feeling, Spiro described the Empire State of Mind rapper who has 3 kids with his wife Beyonce as upset. Upset ain't even a word. I'm just saying, if it were me and I'm saying I'm innocent, I would be pissed as hell. Upset ain't even, it's not even the proper word. He's upset somebody would be allowed to do this and to make a mockery of the system like this. He's upset that this distracts and dissuades real victims from coming forward. He's upset that his kids and family have to deal with this. He's upset, and he should be upset. There was a point, let me see. This is another point that I wanted to make. The fact that this happened over 20 years ago and when the woman was 13, don't you know, even in cases where they have children in real time, that are young victims, they really have to be careful and do so many, they have just different ways that they interview them to ensure that they're getting the truth and they're not getting fiction or fantasy, right? Because, children, they have imaginations. So by their accounts, I'm just using what they said. You're looking at a time lapse of 20 some years. You're talking about somebody that you're alleging is autistic. And so you tell us that you didn't vet this. You didn't just even go through your regular intake and ask questions and change it up to say, well, could this have been, or whatever you needed to do before you would bring these allegations forward. So based on what we see here, if this case gets dismissed, and I said this before as well too, we're going to see the topple effect. It's going to affect all those other Busby cases, right? Busby has come forward and said that he had over 120 accusers, but he's only filed 20 cases, which is good. So hopefully if this doesn't pan out to be true, don't file no more cases, because then you really don't have a problem. This is crazy, and I hope, if nothing else comes out of this, I hope that it's going to stop people from making these wild accusations if it's not true, and and get to the root of it all. Like, for the real victims, Jaguar Wright has come out and said that some of the allegations that she's made against JayZ, we've all heard it. She's saying AI manipulated, that her voice has been manipulated by AI. That's a lie. We have heard it in real time. She said it. That footprint is all over the internet with her saying things about JayZ. She's just said it, just something as of last week, saying that JayZ the Carters have done things to her. She constantly is saying it, but she's trying to retract it now. It's like, so for a person to have been so vocal, going on major platforms, this thing's being heard by millions of people, the allegations she made, it's not right. I am not for nor against Diddy. I just want justice to be served. I don't know if he did. I feel like there's so many allegations that he did something. I just think that his hands aren't clean. What he did, I don't know. He settled with Cassie. So to me, that's an admission that something occurred. However, in my mind as well, I was reading up on that Ghislaine, the Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend. What I want to know is, how come Cassie got money, and because we saw the video that JayZ, that Diddy beat her up and everything, but she also admitted that she recruited people and she participated. And that's the same thing that Ghislaine did. And I know it's different. Trust me, the variables are different. But I guess my question is that I don't think Cassie's hands are totally clean either. Because it reminds me of a P and the guys who had the girls on the strip, because you can't say everything, and how they had those girls out there doing things. People sometimes have no empathy for these young ladies. You guys call them H's and ex-workers and all of this stuff. But Cassie, it's almost the same thing. These girls walking the street, they get beat up. They get, put out there to get money and do things. And to me, it's like she did the same thing. So all I'm saying is that I don't think her hands are clean either. I would like to know, did she participate in some things with some underage people? If she was part of these freak-offs, just like they're alleging that he messed with minors, because it's almost like, we saw you get abused. Yeah, that was totally wrong. But that still should not absolve you from being held accountable for doing some things with a minor if you participated as well. Anybody who stood by, watched, and participated needs to be held accountable. You can't run and go, oh, I was a victim to everything. No. Some stuff, we all make choices and decisions. So I would just like to see if that's ever going to come out. Like, what did she participate in? She told us she did some X work. She was recruiting. She would pick the people. She would set it up, do the scheduling. Did you do some stuff with some children too? I want to know. I know it's probably not a popular question because some people are going to be like, oh, that's victim shaming. No, by her own accounts, she did some stuff too. How much did you do, ma'am? Now, you got paid. You did get paid. But how much did you do? And I feel like a lot of people aren't, yeah. Now there are some stories about Mary J. Blige messing with the underage boys. I don't know that Mary J. is going to, well, who knows though? I mean, yeah, I guess if the young man is not coming forward, making allegations or making claims, then maybe it's probably just kind of going to go by the wayside. But the reason I'm focusing on Cassie is because she brought the allegations and brought it to our attention about Diddy. And she says that she participated. So I don't understand. Or maybe they do know. Maybe she got some, what they call it, immunity. Maybe she got immunity, But I don't think you should. If you mess with kids, I don't give a damn who you were. You should not get no freedom to walk free, because Ghislaine isn't. If she did it, what's the difference between her and Ghislaine or whatever that lady's name is? That's why she was looking crazy on that last carpet she was on. Wait, what are you talking about? Was Cassie around when she was 13? But I'm not talking about that young girl when that girl was 13, because remember, I'm not talking about when that girl was. No, Cassie wasn't. Cassie came later. But but here's the thing: they're saying Diddy had freak offs, and that young lady, Allie Carter, or various people are saying that there were minors involved. So that's what I'm saying. No, girl, Jandrea, no, you don't have to, you're bad and apologize. It's not, girl, we talking. It's not even like that. You don't have to say you're bad. It's say whatever you think or you feel, hey, you get to say it. I'm not like that. It's all love over here. We just talking. We might get a little passionate, but no. The only thing I say, I ask people, is let's not, be saying nothing bad about each other or whatever. But girl, no, you good. You say what you feel. Challenge me. I could be wrong, because some people get on here and they be like, this man got on here the other night and tried to insult me, saying I look like the cat in the hat. Oh, kiss my hand. She must be cute. So I don't trip like that. It's all love. But no, what I was saying is that, so my point is that in that lawsuit or all of these allegations that are coming out, they keep saying that throughout the years of the freak offs that there were children involved. And if Cassie was doing these freak offs with him, was she doing it with the kids too? If that's what they're saying. You can't just act like Diddy was doing this alone. And I'm not just saying Cassie. I'm talking about the people in his little circle. It was a lot of people that had to participate for this stuff to work. Yeah, no, girl, you fine. Girl, wait, KCU. Okay, I don't know what that is. Keep you got. Can you put it in the chat what KCUF mean? Because I don't know. I don't know all the little the little acronyms and stuff. I don't know. You gotta tell me. You says yes, I would think so. Yeah. So I just think that they need to be looking at a whole lot of people. And what they're saying now, and it's crazy because with JayZ's attorney coming out today, speaking solely on behalf of JayZ, it's pretty much like JayZ has drawn the line in the sand. He's saying, I don't up with you. Okay, wait. Oh, yeah. I like that. Thank you. That's what I'm going to start using because when we do our thumbnails and stuff, certain words we can't say. Yes. And I would love to say that. I be trying not to curse because my mother watched sometimes and she'd be like, ladies don't curse. And I'd be like, girl, okay. Yeah. People are so mean. They are, so this guy came on here. He said, oh, you look like the lady from the Cat in the Hat. And my first mind was, because I'm sensitive. I'm like Erykah Badu. I'm sensitive about my shit. Okay. My first mind was to go look her up, right? Because we human, people could say stuff and it could stick with you. Like my daughter always says, people could say you could get 1,000, great job. And one person could say something negative and it sticks with you. So I was going to go look up what he said. And I said, girl, for what? Don't even do it. See, that's another thing. You can't entertain negativity. You just really can't. But anyway, when you said Cassie on the carpet, are you talking about when she was on the carpet down when Diddy was speaking over her and stuff and she was kind of laying on the floor covered up? I don't know when you're talking about the carpet, because there was one picture where Diddy was over her and I was just like, I started crying. I'm a sensitive soul too. I'm like Erykah Badu. I'm sensitive about my ish, but I cry a lot too though. That just tore me up because as a mother, Mary J. Blige. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know about Mary. They've been talking about her. Like we were all speculating that JayZ was going to be next, but Mary might be up on the chopping block too. But here's the thing about it though. Oftentimes, they're not going to treat it the same as they do for women. I mean, they're going against Diddy now because he has male victims, but when it comes to women on young boys or men, they don't treat it the same, and that's not even right either. That's not right. Young kids should not be violated. Period. If you're not over 18, well, you should never be violated. Period. With drinks and stuff, and they slipping Mickeys on you and all that, but children are children. Being the woman who was what? Oh, okay. Duh, I'm kind of slow. Okay. Yeah. I haven't. Let me see. I have not heard anybody say that. I've mostly heard J-Lo, and then a couple people said it could be Beyonce, but I didn't think it was Beyonce. Well, 18 is consenting. it's not like a kid though. You know, a 14-year-old and an 18-year-old girl, it's a big difference. Every couple of 4 years, mentally, emotionally, the maturity level changes. But I mean, 18, hell, you grown. Listen, some of these people when they hit 16, they think they grown, okay? But I'm just saying, at least 18, you're an adult. And sometimes I see these older men, these 50-year-old men with these 18-year-old girls, and I think it's crazy because she has not reached her level of maturity. She ain't lived long enough. Your rusty ass is 50. You done lived your life 2 or 3 times. Why you going in messing with this baby? So I see it like that. But if they're 18, technically they're grown, don't. You said men still don't mature. I agree with you. I think that's a fact. And it's no offense to men, but they say that the brain of a young adult doesn't really mature until it's 27. And I just don't think that most men are ready for marriage and a family until they're like in their 30s, I just they should have time. And I look at young people because I was, when I was younger, I did not understand when the older people would try to tell me, you're so young, you don't have to even try to find a person and fall in love right out of college or, at such a young age. But that's our society. That's what they sell us, fall in love, get married, have a baby, and be struggling pretty much, But yeah. So, Jandrea, I hope I said your name right. You know what? When I see you, I'm gonna just say Miss Diddy because that's probably easier. Because I have to keep trying to make the translation from Jandrea. I'm probably saying it right. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to get off of here. And thank you, Jandrea, for being my co-host today and having conversation with me. I appreciate you, girl. And I hope to see you back again. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your evening. And we're gonna stay on top of this Diddy JayZ stuff, okay? He said, yes, ma'am. Wait a minute. You must be from, I bet you, I'm in the West Coast. You must be from like either South, right? I'm just assuming because y'all say, well, my daughter went to school in Virginia, and everybody says yes, ma'am, which I thought that was so sweet because in California, girl, the little kids, the Warren kids, girl, they be like, hey, they call you by your first name. Hey, Pam. Hey, Trisha. Hey, Linda. You be like, excuse you? You're like, what, 7? I'm like, 48. Are you kidding me? What? We don't do first names. We ain't peers. But yeah, out here, girl, they liable to call you anything. Hey, Linda, have a seat. What? These kids out here are a mess. Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming. Okay. See, I knew it. Oh, well, you're the Jane Doe was from Alabama, girl. Do you know her? Do you know her? I'm just playing. But anyway, I'll see you on the next video. Have a good one. Bye.